All right, you ready?
Let's make it happen.
All right. This is Austin McMullen. I'm here with Chad Van Horn. We're doing a American Board of Certification interview. So Chad, tell me a little bit about where your practice is located and what you do.
Yep. So I'm a consumer and business bankruptcy attorney. So I represent debtors and usually small business debtors in the Chapter 11 practice. And we have a very busy consumer practice as well. So sevens and 13s. And the main office is in Fort Lauderdale, but we work entire state of Florida.
Gotcha. So you're double certified?
I am double certified.
All right. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's actually a funny story. So I thought the first time I was going in, I was taking the consumer exam because I signed up for both. And they gave me the business exam and they said, no, you're here for the business. So I actually prepped for the consumer. And it was up at the ABI Southeastern Conference, and this is years ago now. And I'm reading through this. I was like, this is not what I studied.
But you passed it without studying?
But I did pass it. Luckily, they did say it is a practical exam, so it was based on my experience as a Chapter 11 practitioner. But I can tell you, it was a difficult exam, and I was happy to get that one out of the way because I thought the business exam was a little more difficult than the consumer exam, which I took later on and got that certification as well.
Nice. Nice. Well, good job. Do you find that it helps you to be double certified?
It really does. In my practice area, it's hard sometimes to cut through everything because there's all the TV ads, TikTok ads, and everything else that's out there. So how does a consumer or a small business owner make the decision on which attorney is best for me, and being able to explain to them what the certification is, and it's not just one of these things. No offense to the other advertising companies out there that if you have the most friends or if you, if
Yeah, how many reviews can you get or something?
correct, or if you pay a certain amount of money, it's not just about that. I mean, there's actual real standards to this, and then there's a real exam that you have to pass that not just anybody can pass. It has to be somebody that's actually going to conferences, actively engaged in with their bar, and actively involved just filing bankruptcies.
Yeah, yeah. Good explanation. So, how long have you been involved in the ABC and what has your involvement been?
So I've been involved, I would say for about a decade, maybe a little over a decade now. And yeah, I've worked on the marketing committees. I love the practitioners. Bankruptcy just in general first, but then ABC on top of that really just attracts really nice, good people. Even those evil creditor attorneys out there that we work with are genuinely nice people, and without them, there's no me. So there's a yin and a yang to it. So I've loved working with the ABC and just building those relationships and really learning from just brilliant people and brilliant minds.
Tell me about one of your favorite memories of representing a client.
Yeah, so my favorite client, I actually just had lunch with them not too long ago, was actually my first client. And it was a battle. There were issues, 523 issues. So there was non-dischargeability actions. There was a lot going on. And I remember when I was making my argument, the judge I was in front of, I thought he fell asleep. And and I looked at my co-counsel. I'm like, what do I do? Do I wake him up? Do I keep arguing there? And luckily, his law clerk is like, no, that's just how he concentrates. So I just kept going. And it took 18 months for a ruling to come out. And I didn't know, like, do I file a motion to compel the judge to make a ruling, or what do I
Yeah,
do?
motion to wake the judge up.
Exactly. Still one of my favorite judges all time. And we ended up being successful in the case, and the client rewarded me with his brother was a pilot, and he had these two tickets on American Airlines to anywhere that American Airlines flies.
Wow,
And yeah, we ended up taking a European vacation after that,
that's nice.
and I've been very good friends with him ever since, and we're almost 2 decades later, still very good friends.
Well, that's not only a favorite memory, but that has to be kind of the ideal client, right? One that gives you airline tickets.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the only time it's happened in my career. It was my first client, so I have really high expectations for clients after that.
Yeah, it was all downhill from there.
Right?
Tell me what you do in your spare time.
So I'm very involved with local charities and philanthropic organizations. Big Brothers Big Sister. I'm on the board of Big Brother Big Sister of Broward County. On the board for legal aid. We have a pro bono program with a local university where I went, Nova Southeastern University. But I also love getting together with friends, playing basketball, working out, traveling. As we discussed, my traveling with my wife, and just hanging out, playing with my dog. His name's Chuckles. He's a mini golden doodle, and he's just the cutest thing in the world.
Yeah, I know you've done some really good stuff with the Big Brothers Big Sisters group. I really appreciate your work there.
Yep.
Tell us something that nobody would know about you.
Ooh, something nobody would know about me. I actually don't like talking in front of big groups or being in big groups. I prefer one-on-one like we're having right now, even though I know this is going to be circulated to a larger group. Most people think just because I happen to be a little on the loud side, if you will, and I do enjoy
That
having
makes you an
fun.
extrovert, but it really doesn't.
Correct. Yeah, everybody thinks that you're an extrovert just because you're loud or you can do things, but I prefer the one-on-one meetings because I feel like that's where you really get to learn about people. And when you get too big of a group, it's more surface level. And then if you have a one-on-one and you can have a glass of wine with somebody, you can really learn a lot about that individual. So I think that's a misconception about me that I like being in big groups or speaking in front of big groups. I can do it, but I prefer not to.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure. Now, a year or two ago, you were on this reality competition show, the Squid Game, right?
I finished top 10 in Squid Game. Yep.
Tell me, now that you're a year or two out from there, are there any ways in which doing that has affected your practice?
Absolutely. Well, first, I made lifelong relationships on that show, including with
Yeah,
the winner, Mai, who was my best friend on the show from day one. And I brought back lessons from just competing. I'm a competitor. I love competing. I always have been. And this really allowed me to show off that competitive side. And you know, we were there for a month. So and they put it into 8 episodes. So there's hours and hours or hundreds of hours that they didn't show.
right.
Um, and I think it really did a good job of everybody for some reason thinks lawyers are going to be backstabbing and be the really bad
Right.
character. And I actually had some judges reach out to me saying, you know, thank you for being a good character, a good lawyer character, because it seems like every reality show, the lawyer is going to be the guy that's going to be the negative character. And I really think actually that's helped me with clients as well, because clients are like, well, I can trust this guy because he wasn't going to sell his soul for $4.56 million. So,
Right.
so he's not going to do it for this $5,000 retainer or whatever.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
worth it.
yeah, it's not worth it. And even my coworkers, you know, everybody rallied around, and my friends and family. And obviously, I wanted to win the 4.56 million, and it killed me to not be able to tell because I had an NDA. I couldn't tell what happened, obviously. But everybody was cheering me on, my family. Actually, when I was getting donuts this morning, people came by to get pictures with me because they just recently watched it, which that's the weird thing to me as well is when you're on Netflix, like it's just there forever, right? So
Yeah,
somebody,
you get new fans years later.
correct, yeah, somebody can say, okay, I'm going to watch it today, and it's been out for it's been out for 2 years, and there is a new one coming out, and there will be some of the former contestants on it. I'm hoping they're going to do an all-star edition, and maybe I can get to go back and wear the
Yeah,
jumps.
go back and maybe win.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially if I don't have to compete against 455 other people, we can limit that. That would be fantastic. But yeah, it was one of the best experiences of my life, and it definitely helped shape who I am.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. Let's do wrap up here with a lightning round.
Let's do it.
All right. We got 1 minute. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Where'd you go to law school?
Nova Southeastern University.
All right. Favorite Netflix show?
Squid Game.
Gotta
Come
be,
on.
right? Favorite movie?
Ooh, favorite movie. Bad Boys.
Okay. Best vacation?
Rome, Italy.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I love that. Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert. That's like a bowl of cereal for dessert, believe it or not.
Okay, something sweet. I like it. Chocolate?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Best gift ever?
Ooh, best gift ever. My friends took me for my birthday to North Carolina to watch North Carolina Duke.
Oh man, that's a classic rivalry there.
Absolutely.
Last song that you listened to on your iPhone?
Last song that I listened to, Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow.
All right.
I'm
Last
from Pittsburgh.
podcast you listened to?
Last podcast, Unsportsmanlike, ESPN Radio.
All right. Pets?
And my dog Chuckles.
And the best city you visited?
Best city I ever visited. I liked Singapore.
Singapore. Nice.
Yeah.
Chad, appreciate your time today, and thanks for everything you do for the ABC.
Austin, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. See you later.